Okay, so today we're diving into Proverbs chapter 19.
Right. And this chapter is just really full of, well, ancient wisdom, these sharp sayings.
Yeah, kind of designed to give us practical guidance for, navigating life.
It really feels like it's tackling that big question, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What actually makes a life work and what trips us up?
Totally. It's full of these observations about consequences and, well, what really matters deep down.
So our goal here is what? To pull out the main insights.
Exactly. Not just a summary, but like what's the collective message here about building a solid life, dealing with people, understanding things?
What's striking, I think, is how it often flips things on their head. It's not always about the surface level stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Like that line, better a poor man whose walk is blameless than a fool whose lips are perverse.
Right. It just immediately says, look, character integrity. That's miles ahead of just being rich or having status.
It's like who you are inside is way more valuable than what you have.
And it connects internal flaws, like folly, directly to bad outcomes so often.
Yeah.
It's not just random bad luck.
Yeah, it points out that someone's own foolishness often ruins their life, even if they try to blame God or something else.
Mm-hmm. Their lack of wisdom is the actual root cause.
And it's pretty blunt about specific things, too.
You just get lost, it says. Or laziness brings that deep sleep, right? And the lazy person goes hungry.
It's a very direct link, isn't it, between your internal state or your choices and, well, actual hardship.
It really hammers home that personal responsibility idea.
Yeah.
But, it feels more observational than judgmental.
How so?
Well, it's like this action being foolish, being lazy, it just consistently leads to that bad result for the person. It's showing the cause and effect, not necessarily saying you deserve it.
Okay, yeah, I see that. But then it gets really interesting, maybe a bit harsh. Especially when it talks about relationships.
Oh, yeah. Wealth brings many friends, but a poor man's friend deserts him.
Hmm.
That's pretty stark.
And it keeps going. A poor person is shunned by relatives. Even friends avoid them. It's bleak.
But if you tie that back to the whole internal versus external thing,
Right.
it's highlighting how incredibly, well, shallow a lot of connections can be if they're just based on money or status.
Everyone is a friend to a man who gives gifts. That line.
Exactly. It's not saying don't give gifts,
Yeah.
but it's pointing out those kinds of friendships are just transactional. They're kind of hollow. It observes that reality.
Okay, so if that's the dead end, chasing external stuff, those flimsy relationships, what's the alternative the chapter holds up?
Well, contrast that with he who gets wisdom loves his own soul. He who cherishes understanding prospers.
Ah, okay.
That's the real insight, maybe. True prosperity, even loving yourself well, comes from building that internal value,
Right.
wisdom, understanding, not just grabbing more stuff or chasing fair weather friends.
And wisdom even helps with patience, right? Overlooking an offense.
Yeah, it affects your actual character, how you interact with people fundamentally.
But the chapter also has some serious warnings about actively, harmful stuff.
Oh, definitely. A false witness will not go unpunished.
And he who pours out lies will not go free. It repeats that, doesn't it?
It does. It really emphasizes that dishonesty isn't just a minor slip. It brings consequences you apparently can't just dodge.
And it brings it right into the family, too. A foolish son is his father's ruin.
And I have those really tough examples, like someone robbing their parents, bringing shame and disgrace. It shows the depths of ruin folly can cause, even in the closest relationships.
So is there a way out? Does it offer a path away from that ruin?
Yes, and it's quite direct. Listen to advice and accept instruction, and in the end, you will be wise.
Ah, so humility, being teachable.
Exactly. It's almost countercultural, that message. Real strength comes from being willing to learn, to be corrected.
And obeying that instruction, it says, guards your life, but ignoring it.
Leads towards destruction.
Yeah.
Gives huge weight to just listening and learning.
And then there's that other layer to relationships it adds near the end.
Right, the compassion angle.
Yeah.
He who is kind to the poor lends to the Lord.
And he will reward him for what he has done. That elevates kindness completely, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Takes beyond just human accounting, connects it to something bigger.
It feels like a powerful way to sort of round things out, reminding us that, while we make all our plans.
Many are the plans in a man's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails.
Yeah.
Not everything is just up to us. There's a bigger picture.
So wrapping it all up then, Proverbs 19 seems to paint this picture that's both really practical but also quite challenging.
Yeah, it argues that real well-being isn't about external status or those shallow relationships. It's built inside through wisdom, integrity, being teachable.
And it warns against folly, laziness, dishonesty by showing their direct results while really lifting up listening to instruction and showing kindness.
These insights, they feel incredibly relevant today, cutting through all the noise about appearances.
Definitely. So maybe the final thought for you listening is this. How does this ancient view that true prosperity comes from your inner character and wisdom, often totally separate from external measures, how does that challenge your ideas about success, relationships, and even responsibility in today's world? Something to chew on as you go about your day.